3,000 cattle, stampeding, 40 cowboys in the path. Only the dog could stop them. They called him Blue, and he was about to do the impossible. Texas, 1882. The Chisholm Trail. 3,000 head of Texas longhorn cattle, 40 cowboys, 100 days, 800 miles, from San Antonio to Kansas Railhead, the biggest cattle drive of the season. Trail boss was Jake, 35 years old, experienced, tough, respected. He'd made this drive 15 times before, knew every danger, every challenge, every risk. His constant companion was Blue, Australian cattle dog, 4 years old. Blue merle coat, alert, intelligent eyes, compact, muscular build, working dog through and through. Blue wasn't pet, wasn't mascot, was essential crew. Herding dog, the best Jake had ever seen. That dog's worth 10 cowboys, knows cattle better than most men, reads the herd, predicts problems, prevents disasters. The drive started, late March, spring weather, perfect conditions. 3,000 longhorns, ornery, unpredictable, dangerous. One wrong move, one loud noise, one spook could trigger Stampede. And Stampede meant death. Cowboys trampled, cattle lost, drive ruined. First week went smooth. Good weather, good grass, good water. Cattle settling, into trail rhythm. Cowboys relaxed, confident. Blue worked constantly, moving up and down the massive herd, keeping strays in line, watching for trouble, reading cattle behavior. One evening, Blue started acting strange, agitated, alert, pacing. "What's wrong with Blue?" asked the secundo. "Don't know. He senses something. Weather, maybe?" Jake studied the sky. Clear, beautiful sunset, no storm signs. But Blue was never wrong. Double the night watch, keep cattle calm. Something's coming. Blue knows it. The cowboys grumbled, but complied. Extra guards posted. Cattle watched carefully. Midnight approached. Still nothing. Sky clear. Weather perfect. Then Blue stood, rigid, staring south. Hackles raised. Low growl. Warning. "What is it, boy?" Then Jake heard it. Distant, faint, but growing. Thunder. Not weather thunder. Hoofbeats. Massive. Approaching fast. Buffalo stampede. Hundreds of buffalo. Panicked. Running. Heading straight toward the herd. "Buffalo stampede! Incoming!" Jake shouted. Cowboys scrambled, grabbed horses, prepared. But too late. The buffalo hit like avalanche. Massive beasts running blind, crashing through the cattle herd. 3,000 longhorns, spooked instantly, completely, terrifyingly. They exploded into full stampede, north, away from buffalo, but wrong direction, toward camp, toward supply wagons, toward sleeping cowboys, toward death. "Stampede! North! Get out! Get out!" Men ran, scattered, desperate, trying to escape. 3,000 panicked cattle running full speed in darkness, unstoppable, deadly. Jake rode hard, trying to turn them. Impossible. Too many, too fast, too panicked. The lead steers were 50 yards from camp, from wagons, from cowboys who couldn't escape fast enough. Blue exploded into action, faster than Jake had ever seen. The dog raced straight at the stampede, directly into the path of 3,000 charging cattle. Suicidal, insane, impossible. But Blue knew exactly what he was doing. He hit the lead steers, barking, snapping, biting, controlling. Not stopping them, that was impossible, but turning them, slightly, just slightly, changing their angle, away from camp. The lead steers turned, just 5 degrees. But at stampede speed, 5 degrees was everything. The herd followed, like water following the leaders, turning, slightly, away from camp, away from wagons, away from cowboys. Blue kept working, running alongside the leaders, barking, controlling, guiding. The stampede continued, but now parallel to camp, not through it, missing by 20 yards, close enough to feel wind from passing cattle, close enough to hear their breathing, their hooves, their terror, but not hitting, not trampling, not killing. The stampede ran 2 miles. Before slowing, cowboys regrouped, raced after, helping Blue, turning the herd, gradually, carefully. Finally, the cattle stopped, exhausted, panicked, but stopped. Jake found Blue. The dog was at the front of the herd, panting, exhausted, but uninjured, somehow. Blue, you crazy, magnificent dog! You turned them, saved everyone. How? The other cowboys gathered around, amazed, grateful. That dog ran into 3,000 stampeding cattle, should be dead, trampled, but he turned them, changed their direction, saved us all. They counted, everyone present, 40 cowboys, all alive, all uninjured, because Blue changed the stampede 5 degrees. If those cattle hit camp, 20 men dead minimum, maybe 30, maybe all 40. Blue saved everyone. But the night wasn't over. The herd was stopped, but still spooked, still nervous, still dangerous. Any noise, any movement could trigger another stampede worse than before. Jake posted bards everywhere. Keep them calm, sing to them, talk to them, no sudden moves, no loud noises. We get through tonight, we'll be fine. Blue refused to rest, moved through the herd, constantly calming individual cattle, reading their mood, preventing panic. Hours passed, tense, dangerous, every cowboy on edge. At 3 a.m., thunder started, real thunder, storm approaching. Oh no, not now, not with herd, this spooked. Lightning flashed, close, bright. Cattle started rising, nervous, stampede imminent, again. Blue moved immediately to the most nervous cattle, calming them. His presence, his confidence, his control somehow worked. The cattle watched him, trusted him, stayed down. The storm hit. Rain, lightning, thunder, everything. That should trigger massive stampede. But Blue moved constantly through the herd, calming, controlling. His calmness spread, cattle by cattle, section by section. Cowboys watched, amazed. That dog is holding 3,000 spooked cattle together in thunderstorm after stampede. That's impossible, but he's doing it. Jake rode beside Blue. I don't know how you do this, how you know what they need, how you control them, but thank God you do." Dawn came, finally. Storm passed, cattle calm, crisis over. The cowboys gathered around Blue, exhausted, grateful, alive. "That dog saved us twice last night. Once from buffalo stampede, once from thunder stampede. 40 men alive because of him." They counted cattle, expected massive losses from stampede, from buffalo, from chaos, but found only 30 head missing out of 3,000. Incredible, miraculous. Blue kept them together, even during stampede, controlled the leaders, led them back. That's why we didn't lose everything. The next day. The next day was still nervous, jumpy. Any sound made them twitch. Jake knew this was dangerous. Most vulnerable time, after stampede, before cattle settle again. We move slow, real slow. Let them calm. Blue, stay close, watch them. Blue positioned himself at the front, leading, setting pace. The cattle followed him, trusted him, more than the cowboys. Look at that, they're following the dog, not us. He's leading 3,000 cattle. Days passed, slowly, carefully. Blue never rested, constantly working, reading the herd, preventing problems. One morning, a week later, Blue started acting strange again, alert, focused on something ahead. "What now, boy?" Jake trusted Blue completely. After the stampede, after the storm, Blue had proven his instincts were perfect. Jake rode ahead, scouting, found the problem. River crossing coming up. The Red River, swollen from spring rains, fast, deep, dangerous. River crossings were deadliest part of cattle drives. Cattle panic, in water, swim wrong direction, drown. Cowboys drown, trying to save them. Jake studied the crossing. Current too strong, water too high. Wrong place, wrong time. We wait, let water go down. But waiting meant lost time, lost money, lost opportunity. The segundo disagreed. "We can't wait. Other herds coming behind will take our slot at railhead. We cross now." Jake hesitated, torn between safety and business. Blue made the decision for him. The dog refused to cross, sat down at river edge, wouldn't move. Blue says no crossing. That's good enough for me. We wait. They camped by river. 2 days. Water dropped slightly. Blue's behavior changed. He approached river, tested it, stepped in, stepped out, then looked at Jake. "Okay, boy, you saying it's safe now?" They started. The crossing. Blue went first, swimming, strongly, confidently. The lead steers followed him, into water. The crossing went smooth. Blue led the cattle across, choosing safest route, avoiding deep spots, avoiding current. Halfway through, problem started. Middle of herd, panicked, started milling, swimming in circles. Deadly situation. Creates whirlpools, drowns cattle, drowns cowboys. Jake rode into water, trying to break the mill, but too strong, too established. Cowboys shouted, trying to turn them. Nothing worked. Blue saw the problem, left the leaders, swam back, into middle, into the mill, into the chaos. Dangerous, deadly, but necessary. He swam to the cattle, causing the mill, bit them, hard, painful, got their attention, turned them, broke the mill. One by one, cattle by cattle. The mill dissolved. Cattle swam straight again, toward shore. The crossing took 4 hours. Exhausting, dangerous, but successful. All cattle across. All cowboys safe, because Blue led them, corrected them, saved them, again. 3rd time, that dog saved us. Stampede, storm, river, what's next? Days continued. Blue kept working. The herd was settling, finally getting into rhythm. Cowboys relaxed. Too soon. Week later, Indian territory, dangerous country. Not from Indians necessarily, but from rustlers, bandits who preyed on cattle drives. Night watch was doubled, guards posted everywhere. Midnight, Blue alerted, again, staring into darkness, growling. Rustlers coming. Jake woke the camp quietly, prepared for raid. They came, 20 rustlers, armed, dangerous, trying to scatter the herd, steal cattle in chaos. The attack started with gunfire, meant to spook the cattle, trigger Stampede. In confusion, steal hundreds. Standard tactic. The cattle started to run, but Blue was ready. He moved to the leaders immediately, held them somehow. His presence, his control, his confidence kept them from full panic. The rustlers weren't expecting resistance, expected stampede, expected chaos. Instead, found organized defense. Cowboys fighting back, cattle staying together, Blue controlling herd. The gunfight was brief, intense. Rustlers realized surprise failed. Cattle controlled, cowboys ready. They fled into darkness, leaving 2 wounded behind. Jake checked the herd, expected massive scatter, but Blue had held them, mostly together. Only 100 head ran off, easy to recover in morning. That dog just prevented rustler raid. How many cattle drives lose everything to raids like that? But Blue kept herd together, prevented stampede, made defense possible. Cowboys were in awe. 4 times now. That dog saved this drive, saved us. Buffalo stampede, thunderstorm, river crossing, rustler raid. What else can he do? Jake smiled. Whatever needs doing, Blue knows. This trail better than any of us. Knows cattle better than cattlemen. He's not a dog. He's the real trail boss. 2 weeks later, Kansas, finally, Railhead Town, Abilene. Journey complete. 3,000 cattle delivered, minus 30 head. Incredible success. 40 cowboys, all alive, all uninjured, all grateful. The cattle buyers were impressed. Best condition herd I've seen all season. How'd you keep them so calm? Jake pointed at Blue. That dog, that's how. He led them, controlled them, saved us 4 times. This drive could have been disaster, buffalo stampede, thunderstorm, river crossing, rustler raid. Each one should have killed half the crew, lost the herd. But Blue prevented it, all of it. Word spread through Abilene. Cowboys from other drives came to see the legendary Blue, the dog who controlled 3,000 cattle, who prevented 4 disasters, who saved 40 men. That's him? That small dog controlled whole herd? Jake nodded. Size doesn't matter. Heart does. Brain does. Blue's got both, in abundance. Other trail bosses wanted Blue, offered money, lots of money. I'll give you $1,000 for that dog. Jake refused. He's not for sale. Blue's not property. He's partner. He's family. He's hero. The cattle sold. Top price. Record profit. Jake split. The bonus among crew. You all survived 4 disasters, worked hard, trusted Blue. You earned this. The Cowboys celebrated in Abilene, telling stories about Blue, about Stampede, about Storm, about River, about rustlers. That dog is legend already. Wait till these stories spread. They did, spread fast. Other trail bosses heard about Blue, about the drive that survived everything. 4 disasters and herd arrived intact? How? Cowboys explained again and again. The dog, Blue, Australian cattle dog, turned Stampede, calmed herd, in storm, led river crossing, prevented rustler, Stampede, saved 40 men 4 times. Trail bosses started seeking similar dogs, Australian cattle dogs, Blue healers. If one dog can do what Blue did, we need them. Every drive should have one. Jake returned to Texas, planning next drive. But word had spread faster than he traveled. When he arrived, San Antonio, people waited, wanting to see Blue, wanting to hear stories, wanting to learn about the dog. Mr. Jake, is it true your dog stopped a stampede, 3,000 cattle? Jake told the story, complete story, buffalo stampede, Blue's turn, the 5 degrees that saved everyone. People listened, amazed. 5 degrees? That's all? But enough? At stampede speed, 5 degrees is difference between life and death. Blue knew that, calculated that, executed that perfectly. Cattlemen Association invited Jake to speak at annual meeting. Tell us about your drive, about Blue. We need to understand what happened, how to replicate it. Jake spoke. 200 cattlemen telling every detail. Blue beside him, calm, professional. Buffalo stampede should have killed 20 men. Blue turned it, thunderstorm. Should have scattered the herd. Blue held them. River crossing should have drowned dozens. Blue led them. Rustler Wade should have stolen everything. Blue prevented it. 1 dog, 4 disasters, 40 lives saved. The cattlemen were amazed, asked questions. How did he know what to do? Instinct, training, intelligence. Blue reads cattle better than humans, predicts their behavior, prevents their panic. That's gift some dogs have. Where can we get dogs like Blue? Australia originally, but some being bred here now. American cattle dogs. Working dogs, not pets. Need training, need work, need purpose. Within year, demand exploded for cattle dogs like Blue. Breeders imported dogs from Australia, started programs in Texas, in Kansas, in Colorado, training working dogs for cattle drives, for ranches, for herding, all because Blue proved what one dog could do. Jake continued, making drives, Blue always with him. 5 more years, 10 more, drives each one successful. Blue preventing problems before they became disasters. Other drives started using cattle dogs. Success rate improved dramatically. Fewer stampedes, fewer deaths, fewer losses. Cattle dogs changed everything, made drives safer, more efficient, more profitable. By 1888, Blue was 10 years old. Slowing, gray muzzle, stiff joints, but still working, still herding, still preventing disasters. Jake knew, time to retire him. Blue, you've done enough. 15 drives, saved how many lives? Hundreds probably. Time to rest. Blue retired to Jake's ranch in Texas, but never really stopped working. Herding, ranch cattle, teaching young dogs, showing them how to read cattle, how to control them, how to prevent problems. Young Australian cattle dogs came to Jake's ranch specifically to learn from Blue. That dog is legend. Learning from him is honor. Blue taught, patiently, by example, by demonstration. Young dogs watched, learned, imitated. Blue passed. Peacefully. 1890. At 12 years old. At Jake's ranch, surrounded by cattle. He loved. Jake was devastated. Best partner I ever had, human or animal. He saved my life 4 times. One drive saved 40 men. That night changed cattle industry forever. They buried Blue at ranch, overlooking the pastures. Simple marker. Blue, 1878-1890. Australian cattle dog. He stopped the stampede. He saved 40 lives. He changed everything. But Blue's real legacy wasn't stone. It was living, working, hundreds of Australian cattle dogs, working ranches, working drives across America, all traced to Blue, to that night when he turned Stampede 5 degrees, saved 40 men, proved what working dogs could do. By 1900, every major ranch had cattle dogs. Every cattle drive used them. Stampedes decreased 70%. Deaths decreased even more. All because Blue showed what one dog could do. By 1950, Australian cattle dogs were standard on ranches worldwide, herding, controlling, preventing disasters. Every single one owed something to Blue, to that Texas dog who ran into Stampede, turned 3,000 cattle 5 degrees, saved 40 lives. The buffalo came, the cattle stampeded. 40 men faced death. But Blue ran into impossible odds, changed direction, just slightly, just enough. That's heroism. That's Blue. Then he did it again, and again, and again. 4 disasters, 1 drive.
40 lives saved. Every time. That's not luck. That's greatness. Blue didn't know he'd start revolution. Didn't know he'd change ranching forever. Just knew cattle were stampeding. Cowboys needed saving. Work needed doing. So he did it. Ran into 3,000 charging cattle, turned them 5 degrees, saved everyone. Then kept working. That's Blue. That's legacy. Not monuments, not recognition, but lives saved. Work done. Industry changed. Every cattle dog working today, every ranch using them, every stampede prevented, traces back to Blue, to that night, to 5 degrees, to 40 lives saved. Simple Australian cattle dog named Blue, who ran into Stampede, changed everything forever.